Good morning, guys. How are you this morning? Jean is here from beautiful upstate New York. Just gorgeous there, Jean. I always loved going out to visit relatives up there. And Cactus Deb is here from a damp and chilly Glendale. Oh my goodness, that doesn't happen very often for you, does it, Deb? Christina, I'm so sorry you've got a gloomy and rainy day in Stockholm, but I'm glad you're here. Hopefully, we can brighten your day up a little bit. Susie, good morning from Arlington, Virginia. And Deanna is here from Prineville, Oregon. My mouth doesn't seem to want to work this morning. Oh, goodness. Ronnie joins us from northeastern Arizona, and Joyce is here from Mesa. It looks like Arizona has everybody else outnumbered. That's okay, though. Linda, my Michigander buddy, is here, and Kim is here from a sunny Atlanta. Hopefully, all your snow is gone, Kim. Aaron, welcome from Ohio. And Regina, my friend, is here from Georgia. Di from Southern California, welcome, welcome. Always so good to see you. And Joanne is here from Iowa. And I don't know if you can hear that or not, but somebody is looking for some attention this morning. She does this every time I get on live, so I have to give her complimentary treat, and then she goes and lays down, which is a good thing. She's a good girl. Oh, Mary Lou, sunny down in Florida. Welcome, welcome. It is so good to see you here. Well, today we are going to work with our strand of pearls. Strand of pearls come in two sizes. They come in 1/2 inch and 1 inch. And we are going to use both of them in this little design that I drew out. We might be doing just a little bit more than what's on here. But first, let's take a look at these templates. And I really think that this is worth taking the time for. Let's go ahead and start with the 1 inch pearls. And what I've got out here in my ruler rack, because Manischewitz, it sure makes life easier, right? Than to be searching all over the table for them. This is two of our 1 inch pearls. A 10.5 inch, 9.5 if we put the pin in this direction. And if we turn it around and put the pin in here, it is 4.5 inches. So most of these templates that come in the set, and they are a set of 5, have actually more than one size in them. If you look at this one, this is the biggie. This is 11.5 inches. So that's, like I was saying last night, granddaddy of them all. Okay. And then, of course, they go down from there. Let me explain how the 11.5 inch works. It is not 11.5 inches from the design here, from the pearl, to this hole that we're going to use for our pin. This is half of 11.5 inches. So this is considered half of a rotation. Then we would have to come to the other side and do another rotation this way. And that would equal 11.5 inches. The strand of pearls, 1/2 inch, works exactly the same. So let's go over the sizes that we have, because I'm telling you, for these two sets, you really get a bang for your buck. I mean, you're getting on template 1 a 10.5 inch, Template 2, you're getting 4.5 and 9.5. Template 3, 5.5 and 8.5. Template 4, 6.5, 7.5. And template 5, 11.5. So really, there are 5 templates, but 9 strands of pearls we can make with those 5 templates. And the same holds true. That is the 1-inch pearls. Here is the 1/2-inch pearls. The same holds true for the 1/2-inch pearls. 5 templates, 9 strands of pearls that we can make with them. So it really lends itself to doing a lot of really great designs. And these are, you can get the deal day 20 with those 2 sets today. I did talk to Stacy, make sure that that was working. So I'm going to go ahead and put those guys away and I'm going to pull this out. What we're going to do is we're going to be switching off templates and different things like that. And we may actually add a couple of things to this design. Because as I was looking at it, I thought, "Oh, that'd be cool if we did this. That'd be cool if we did that." So we might just embellish it a little more. So let me go ahead and get my practice square up here. I have my tack in the center. The first round that I'm going to do is this inside round. And remember, I make chicken scratch notes. Okay. I put on my notes the size of the template. In this case, it's a 1-inch pearl and the hole that I set it on from the center. And I'll show you that in just a second. The first thing I want to do is see if we've got any new people in. And Sandy, good morning. Another beautiful day expected in Tampa. Awesome. Monica's here from Illinois. Welcome, Monica. Um, let's see. Linda says, "Good morning from New York." Good morning, my friend. And she's here, but we'll watch on and off because she has distractions. I feel for you. It's okay too. Di says she's been thinking about using this set. She has the strand of hearts and loves them, and we will be going through that one as well, Di. And yeah, I just think the strands are awesome, awesome templates. Evelyn, good morning. You made it in from New Haven, Indiana. Awesome. Welcome. Good to see you. Marcia says, "I guess I don't understand why it's not just a circle. Why is it that odd shape?" You know what, Marcy? I said, "Monica, I apologize. Marcy, I'm going to show you that next, okay? It is an odd shape for a circle, but there is a reason for it. So let's go ahead and get started. And Marcy, I hope this is going to answer your question. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my 1-inch pearl and I'm looking for the 4.5 inch, which is right here. So I'm going to go ahead now because this is the 4.5 inch. I'm going to use this hole for my pin. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to line up between the reference lines. I have 16 reference lines here. I've numbered them 1 through 16, which is what I like to do. Marcy, watch close because this is absolutely amazing. So what I can do, I have 2 choices here. I can line up with the vertical center here, or I can twist either way to the left or to the right and line up with my 2 reference lines that come together here. Excuse me. I still got that cold hanging on. I'm trying to get rid of it. So what I've decided on this particular design is I'm going to go ahead and line up so that my circle comes here and it's going to come, I'm sorry, it's going to come here. I've lined up on this on the vertical reference line. So my circle is going to come here and here. Let me show you what I mean. I am going to start at the bottom left or bottom right. It doesn't matter, whichever way you prefer to go. I'm right-handed, so I like to move around from left to right. And it's just me, guys. It's not right, it's not wrong. It's just me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this so you can see this easier. As you can see, I've got my vertical center line lined up. I've got, there's a little divot right here in the foot, and that is, or in the template, and that's where you want your template to be, or your foot to be down. I'm sorry. Okay, and I need to re-pull my thread because I had it over just a little further than it really should have been. And I don't want to have to start picking out right away this morning. Those of you who were with me last night, Linda Martindale mentioned bonbon time. And I said that I didn't think Kate ate all those bonbons, but we'd ask her. I did send her an email. So I will report back whether Kate eats the bonbons or not. Oh, Sarah, good morning, daughter. How are you today? My daughter is joining us from the beautiful town of Homestead, population 10. Okay, so I'm going to come from the reference line number 16. I'm going to come around and we're going to come all the way in until we hit reference line number 2. Yeah, that's kind of a goofy shape, right, Marcy? Well, good morning, Priscilla. Welcome from Oklahoma. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to twist my template, and I am going to twist it one rotation. I'm sorry. And I'm going to repeat that. And I'm doing something weird here. I'm not really sure what is going on. My circle isn't as straight as I would like it. There we go. I think maybe I went too far. Okay, so now we're going to come back, twist one rotation. Guys, I apologize. I'm doing something totally whacked out here. And what I'm doing is I'm starting in the wrong place, I do believe. Well, no, this is the way it's supposed to look. Okay. Even though I think I'm doing something wrong, I'm not. Oh, it's early. It's morning. I've used these things often, so there's no reason that I shouldn't have an idea of what I'm doing. What the goal is to come here and stop. Then we're going to twist the template and we're going to twist the template to the next rotation and we're going to come around here and stop. Twist to the next rotation. We're going to finish up that circle, come around here and stop. Now, the question I have is, that is right. These are going to overlap, these circles. So let's go ahead and put this back on. And again, I apologize. This morning is just, I'm not awake yet, I guess. I'm not sure. Okay, so here we go. We're going to come up here. and put that foot down. Now I'm going to twist. When I twist, what should happen is I'm going to finish up that first circle. And it's making my circles a little bit cattywampus. Stop here. Twist my template one rotation. And come around. Now, what we can do if we choose, we can do this, excuse me, attaching the bottoms as well. So let's try to come in the opposite direction. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to move everything along here. Pull my thread, lift my foot. There we go. I'm going to try going in the opposite direction and see if that works better for me. Sometimes it will. And that is what we need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in right here. I'm all lined up right here on my lines. That is where I got it wrong. I did the first one lined up with the reference lines as opposed to the center. So once you line it up that way, you need to keep going in that same direction. Okay, so come here, stop. Now I am going to turn it and get some of these threads out of the way too. There we go. I'm going to turn it. And there we go. And there is our circle. All right. Come around. And we're going to come this way. And we're going to make our half circle here. And then we're going to twist the template and complete the first circle or the circle to the right. And now we're going to make another half circle. Now, the advantage of this is you don't have to worry about lining up each of your circles that they're going to be in a perfect circle. That's too many circles, isn't it? Okay, so it lines up the pearls so that you have a perfect circles attached to each other going around a center measurement. There we go. And we're going to stop when we get to that reference line, and we're going to twist, and we're just going to keep going. And Marcy, this is an odd shape, but as you can see, the circles end up perfectly. They're perfectly formed, unless you wobble, which I just did. But you know what? If I hadn't said anything, I don't think any of you guys would have even noticed it. So that's a good lesson. Don't tell your mistakes. Okay, there we go. And around we're gonna go. I'll just do a couple more. This is the basic. Once you get this part down, as you can see, it becomes much easier. Keeping our stitch length just a little short when we're doing circles or arcs gives us a more rounded look. Make sure your needle is down before you move things, or you could end up in a place you really don't want to be in. Okay, This is as far as we're gonna go. And we're gonna go ahead and stop right here. Okay. So we're not gonna look at all of the messes that I made over here. Okay, there we go. This is how it works. I'm gonna go ahead and clip this bobbin thread here. There we go. And we have a circle of circles or a circle of pearls. Okay, let's take a look where we're from. Okay, Priscilla has a, okay. Priscilla says, I noticed that you just cut your tails off. If you were doing this on an actual quilt, would you still just cut the tails off or pull them inside the quilt? Priscilla, that's an excellent question. This is a practice square. Therefore, I don't worry about burying my threads. If, however, it was a quilt that I was making, I would stop. I would bury those threads inside of the batting. So that is a great, great question. Sandy asks, is there a way to use this template and not have the circles overlap? Yes, there are. You would come out further, or you could do every other one. So let me show you if I do the same thing here, but I'm going to do it and 6.5, 7.5. I need to find my 4.5. If I do it with the 1/2 inch strand, they won't overlap. And what we're going to do is when we come out here, they are not going to overlap. It's going to depend how much they overlap is going to depend, Sandy, on how close or how far away you are from the center. If we were to make this a complete strand of pearls around here instead of this goofy shape that I put in, they would not overlap. All right, let me find my 4.5 inch here. I hadn't planned on using it, so I didn't take it out, but that's okay. That's good. 8, 6. 10 and 3. It's going to be the last one, right? There it is, 4.5 inch. And this is my 1/2 inch strand of pearls. And let's go ahead and put these back here. So I'm going to start right here. I'm going to put this little guy in. What we're going to do is we are going to the 4.5 inch, that's really interesting. Oh, because I have it in the wrong hole. I went, why is the 4.5 inch different? It shouldn't be. Should be exactly the same. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, start here, and come over here. I'm going to start on that reference line. I'm going to go right over the top of the 1 inch pearls. I want to make sure we can do this. And let me, oh, I guess I didn't cut my bobbin thread, but that's okay. I'm just going to hold it back. It'll be fine. All righty, here we go. I have lined up, let me show you where I'm at. I have lined up my reference lines, not in the center. I've lined them up on the left and the right of center. And my foot just cut loose on me. All right, no worries. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to come over this way and stop. I'm going to go ahead and trim these threads off. And I'm going to twist my template. Here we go. Now what you notice on this one is there's going to actually be a little, whoops, I almost tried to go all the way around. There's going to be an actual little bit of a gap between the pearls. And there we go. Stop and twist. Around we go. Keeping those stitches just a little bit shorter. And we're going to twist. I really have been doing circles this week. Last night we did circles as well. There we go. And we're going to twist. And around we go. This is nice. It helps us to make those perfect circles without having to try to line them up exactly. And having different sizes and different lengths away from the pin gives us a whole lot of opportunity to play with them. Okay, again, I'm lining up on my reference lines. Oops, I came off of that one a little bit. That's bonbon time. uh, and around we're gonna go, and we are going to stop right here. So what you're going to see on this one is, let me get that bobbin thread cut. There we go. This is our 1/2 inch purl. This is our 1 inch purl. So that is the difference between them. And what happens is you will end up with this space on the 1/2 inch purl between them, but at 4.5 inches, the 1 inch purl will overlap. The further out you come, the less overlap you're going to get. So let me go ahead and grab let me just show you. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the 1 inch strand of pearls, and we're going to do them at 10.5 inches. Okay, so that's 4.5, 9.5. Here is 10.5. I'm going to go ahead and put that in. Okay, where's my number one? It's my no, I'm not gonna worry about the numbers I've got. This is a practice piece. Okay, again, I'm going to line up the outside lines here. So what I'm going to do is start here, come around here, stop, rotate, come up and around, and rotate. Okay. First, what I'd like to do is I'd like to go ahead and take a look to see if we have any questions or comments. Okay. Joey's here. Good morning, Joey. So good to see you. And Suzanne is here too. Oh, Suzanne says she's always been amazed how these look finished, and it might be time for her to get these templates. Well, you know what, Suzanne, today might be the day, because if you put deal day 20 is the coupon code to get 20% off of these templates today, both the 1/2 inch and the 1 inch. Okay, so here we go. Let's go ahead, and I've got the 10.5 inch in. I'm going to start here. And put my foot down, put my needle in, make sure I'm lined up appropriately, and off we're gonna go. First stitch in place. Now remember the size. This is a 10.5 inch. Now this does not mean that the circles are going to be 10.5 inches. Okay, just so you're aware. It just means that the completed design from here to here is going to be 5.25 inches. But if you go from here all the way back to the other side, it's going to be 10.5 inches. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and we are going to twist. And here's our next pearl. So if you want the pearls to touch but not overlap, what's going to happen is you need to put more reference lines in. And just out of, I'm not going to try that. I'll try that on my own. I just had a thought, but let's not go there. I don't want to confuse things. Okay. And we're going to come here. This way. Beautiful circles. Absolutely beautiful. Now, there is another thing we can do. We can put more reference lines on here. So we could put 32 reference lines instead of 16. And let's see what will happen if I do that. I'm going to just draw in a reference line here or two. Let's take this off. Okay, this is kind of an experiment here. Deb, Deb says, I love it when you fly by the seat of your pants. Guess what, Deb? I'm flying by the seat of my pants here. So we're going to see how this turns out. Okay, it may not be perfect because I may not have this line, this reference line perfect. We're going to make it as close as possible. And then I'm going to come here and make another one. And the way I'm making this reference line is I'm lining my ruler up where these circles overlap and right to the center. Okay. And that's going to give me very close. If it's not exactly on, you know what? This is a practice piece. It's not the end of the world. So let's put the template back on. And there we go. All right. So I was here, and I want you to notice this is where I have lined up with my 16 reference lines to this far. Now here, if I've made, here is going to be 32 reference lines. So I'm only going to come over one. Let's see what's going to happen here. Okay, so I would need to go here, move it back, go here, move it forward. I'm not sure. This is one of those things I might have to sit down and figure out. Okay, so what is going to happen if I come to here and then I'm going to twist my reference line or my template, I'm sorry, and come from this reference line and stop right there, twist it back. Come to the next reference line. Remember, this is 32 now. And then twist it back again lining up that reference line. Make my half purl, twist it back, make the whole purl. Get to the next reference line, twist it back. Whoops, there we go. I'll make sure I've got it where it belongs. Come here and stop with my needle down. And now I'm going to twist again. So that is a way to do it. Personally, I don't think that's the best way to do it. What you can do is come back and put an additional round of pearls on the inside of the ones that are already here. Let's see how we're going to do that, okay? I think to me that would be easier than flipping or twisting the template back and forth. So when we started this round, we lined up our reference lines here. So if we want our circle to move, we want to line up the center on the reference lines. Let me show you what I mean by that. Here is my center, my vertical center. Now go ahead and pull this up. Get my needle down, line up that vertical center. And around we're going to go and stop. Now, this is exactly what we did previously here, but we're just lining it up at a different point. That's all. I'm going to go ahead and twist my template, come around, and we're going to stop at the bottom, and we are again going to twist the template, lining up the center, vertical center this time. And what you're going to see is with the 10.5 inch, we are ending up with our circles lined up without overlapping. And that's the 1-inch purl. And coming around, and I do overlap a little bit here because I was off center. That's okay. This is practice, remember? There we go. And let's go ahead and take this out. Well, goodness. On you. So here we've done the 1-inch pearls in a line without any spaces between them. What we did on this side was we tried to do it by turning the template back and forth. Not impressed with my skill level there, okay? But coming in and doing it twice, I think works out very nicely. Okay, let's see where we're at here. Lee, good morning. You snuck in while I was busy. And Kelly's here from Arizona. Welcome, Kelly. Okay, Debbie tells us, let's go here. Some of my favorite designs you come up with are something. Okay, is that a complete sentence? I'm not really sure. Okay, Suzanne says, can you do one round on the 16th reference lines and then go around in between again? And yes, you can. That's what I just did. And truthfully, even though it may sound like it's more work, it actually is not. And I think the outcome for my skill level is better. Okay. Priscilla, so many options. Does it come with instructions about all the different options? Or do you just have to play with it and see what you can create? It comes with rudimentary instructions, Priscilla. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it gives you the basics, which is good. Anything beyond that, what you might want to do is start playing with them, watch the lives, watch the recorded, get on sosteady.com, look at instructions there, see if there's any free classes in the university. Of course, there are paid classes. And as an instructor, we always so much appreciate when you purchase the paid classes, which most of them are not expensive. If they're pre-recorded classes, they run maybe up to $40, but 10, 15, 20 is about the average. So utilize those options, please, Priscilla, because they will help you. The other thing is, don't be afraid to reach out either. I have all my contact information at sosei.com under the instructors. My email, my phone is there, and I welcome questions, and I'll try my best to walk you through any of the questions. Debbie says, I really like the look when the pearls don't overlap. Quite honestly, Deb, so do I. So do I. Well, Debbie or Diane, I'm sorry, is here from Chicago. Welcome, Diane. Nice to see you. And sorry, it was designs when you changed the middle. Okay. Okay, Deb was just answering a question that I had. Jacqueline is here from Garden of Life Revamp. Welcome, Jacqueline. And Pam is here from Maine. I haven't seen you in a day or two, Pam. How are you? Okay. Diane says, thank you for the instructions and all the options to be creative. You are quite welcome, Diane. What we do here, what my goal is to give you guys a stepping off place. And after I've shown you these things, then I'm hoping that you pull out your stitching line disc, piece of paper, a pencil, and get to work just playing with them and coming up with ideas of your own. To me, that is so important. It really is. Now, I want to review this because someone did ask, what is the name of the templates, please, so I can order them? They are the Strand of Pearls. It comes in two sizes, the 1-inch pearls and the half-inch pearls. Both are a set of 5 templates, but they have 9 different strands of pearls to use. If you'll notice, right on the front here, you have 2 on each of these templates. So you really get a lot for your money with these sets. I call these sets bang for your buck rich, okay? So let's take a look at what I've got coming on up next here. Now, this is kind of wacky what I did here. I used 2 different templates and I switched them off back and forth. Okay. Then I came back and put these circles in after the fact. And you can do it because you're traveling. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. I've got my 6.5 and my 7.5, and these are 1/2 inch pearls. And it just so happens, let me get it right side up here. These 6.5 and 7.5 inch strand are on the same template. And these are 1/2 inch pearls. Could you do it with 1 inch pearls? Absolutely. And pretty much anything you can do with one, you can do with the other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I am going to start with the 7.5 inch. And we're going to start right here. I'm going to make sure I get it in the right hole this time. And that this is just something I want to just reiterate. You really want to look at how these lines come up when you're putting your hole in. Because if I put my hole in here and tried to use this side, it would be a totally different size. Okay, so let's go here. Let's set this up. What I did on this one is I came here and around and stopped. And then I changed templates and made a half a motif and stopped. And I just kept on doing this all the way around. Let me show you what I mean. I think this turned out really cute. Okay, I'm going to go in this direction. I'm going to put it right inside of here. I'm lining up with these two lines on my reference lines. So let's go ahead and draw our bobbin thread up. That's just a must. That has to happen. And I do have staple tape on both sides of this template. You do not need it on both sides of the template. Why I put it on both sides is totally a mystery to me. I've got to be honest with you. Okay, so I'm going to start here. We're going to come around, come with the arc here, and stop right there. And we're going to turn that thread. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 7.5 inch off. I'm going to set that aside, put my 6.5 inch on, and I do need to replace my gate for this. Put it on the pin. There we go. So now I am going to line up on the next set of reference lines. And I'm going to come like this around the bottom this time, up to the top and stop. I'm going to go ahead and take this off and put back the 7.5 inch. I need to replace my gate. Oops, I need to go this way to replace it. There we go. This is why the needle channels are so much nicer, guys. They really are. I envy you all who got needle channels as opposed to gates. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to come around. And again, we're going to stop. Take the 7.5 inch off. Put the 6.5 inch on. Replace the gate. That is so important. There we go. Come on, you. There we go. Rotate. Set this over here so I don't lose it. And yeah. Now, quite honestly, if you were looking at this, it would be hard. You'd be hard pressed to tell that this is two different templates coming together for one design, wouldn't it? And now I'm going to put, okay, that's my 6.5. So this time I need to put my 7.5 inch on. There we go. And I do need to replace my gate each time. This one's a little fussier, but I think the results are well worth it. And around we're gonna go. And come in halfway again and stop on our reference line. Turn it around. And the 6.5 and 7.5 aren't the only sizes that you can do this with. You can do this with any size of the pearls. You could do it with 1-inch pearls or like I did with the 1/2 inch pearls. And we're going to stop. Make sure that needle's down. That's my biggest worry is to have that needle still up and come off of there and just mess things up terribly. Okay, so now I am going for the 7.5 inch. There we go. Yep. Sometimes I question myself. That's okay. It's a good thing to do sometimes. Just sometimes, though, not always. Okay, and we're going back up and around. And stop. And I'm gonna do one more, okay? I'm not gonna bore you with doing the whole thing. That's kind of about as exciting as watching paint dry. And I know watching paint dry is not something I prefer to do with my time. I should go ahead and twist, and now we're gonna come around. Now, for some reason, and I don't understand why, this design made me think of Lost in Space. I don't know if any of you remember that show or not, but for some reason, this design reminded me of that show. I know it's kind of weird, right? Um, anyway, this design can be left just as it is. Kind of cool, huh? Okay. Okay, Donna's gonna come back and watch the replay. Marcy said, Marcy, you're absolutely right. Okay, let me back up here. Uh, oh, thank you, Pam. Okay. Pam says she needs to watch the replays. And Julia's here from the UK. Good afternoon, Julia. So good to see you. And Jean's made it in from Mount Vernon, Washington, all the way out on the West Coast. So it's pretty early for you, Jean. And Terry, hi. I haven't seen you in a few days. How are you? Marcia brings up a really good point. You don't need to put the gate in for the 7.5 inch because we're stitching on the inside of it, not the outside. Marcy, you're exactly right. Sometimes I tend to be suspenders and belt kind of person. Oh, or maybe it's a 6.5 inch. Anyway, there is one that we definitely are only going on the bottom. Yeah, it would be a 6.5. Okay, and Donna said it looks more like Stargate than it does Lost in Space. I love it, Donna. You are so witty. And Lost in Space, Ronnie says, was a long time ago. And you are right, Ronnie. It was very long ago. Kind of like the Jetsons. And if you look at the Jetsons today, all the things that they had in those cartoons that were so futuristic, we're doing. video calls we're there's electric vehicles we're doing. There's a lot of things that, imitate what is it? Art imitating life? In that case, it's life imitating art. Okay, so what we're going to look at next is taking and making little circles inside of here. Okay? You see how these are all connected like this. But now what we're going to do, let me get this up so I can point at it. It's easier. So we're going to come in and we're going to go ahead and come here and put a pearl. Then we're going to come over here and put a pearl, and then come here and put a pearl. Okay? We're not closing these pearls. We're leaving those open like we did. And I just really like this look. I think it's futuristic. I think it's simple. I think it's a great design for a modern quilt. More and more women are making the modern quilts, which are a little more minimalistic than the quilts that we've made all of our lives. So you want a clean design. I call them clean designs because they're not clutter, right? So whoops, I just lost my gate. I'm going to take my 6.5 inch and I'm going to go ahead and put that on. Well, my goodness, I know it's right there. Why can't there we go. And I'm going to close up my gate. So what I want is I want a pearl here and a pearl here. Okay. So how do we make that pearl? The way we're going to make that pearl, and I'm going to start over here, is we are going to put, okay, so I want one here. So what I need to do, yep, okay. I need to use my vertical center line this time. And pull my bobbin thread up. Okay, guys, the hands aren't working either this way. My goodness, I better shape up here. Okay, so we're going to start with our half pearl. We're going to come around. Now, where this line is going to come here, and I want you to see this clearly. That line is coming right where those two templates met. So now I'm going to go ahead and do this, the right half of the pearl, and stop. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to twist my template so that again on my next reference line, I have the vertical center lined up. This is going to finish that pearl, and it's going to go ahead and start making the next one. Twist again. We're going to line up the vertical center, and now we are going to finish this pearl. And I'm gonna give you guys just a word of advice. Trust the template. Okay. What happens if you don't trust the template is you get off of it, like I did here in the beginning. I was trying to trust my own knowledge instead of the template. And I'm going to tell you, the template's going to win every time because it only does one thing, and that is what you tell it to. If you trust the template and trust the design, you're not going to have any problems. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish this one. and come halfway over to make our next pearl. Almost there. And again, that vertical center. And a half a pearl. There we go. Stop. I'm going to finish off this round. Come on in, and this is going to, now to finish that last one, we need to twist to our next vertical crosshair, and then we're going to close it, which is a great way to do it if you have a half of a circle that you want to fill with this design, because you see you can easily close off this. And what this is going to look like, well, let me get the bobbin thread here, is what we had was connecting two into one. Now what it looks like is each of these is a unit in and of itself, right? So this unit looks like a unit in and of itself. It's really not. They're all connected together. That's what makes them so cool. Okay, let's see where we're at. Um, Good morning, Valerie. So nice to see you. Appreciate you being here. Oh, Diane says Lost in Space, the Jetsons. She loved all of them. Okay, let's see what Donna says. But many of us remember all these shows. They were great. I never missed an episode, but I was younger and my brain worked better. Donna, don't I understand that? Monica says, astronaut. Yes, you're absolutely right. Deb says it looks like the underside of a flying saucer. So the circles all look like they could light up. That'd be kind of cool to put some of those mini lights in there. Okay. Um, why do you have the template set with the gate put on underneath? Wouldn't it work turning the template over? Terry, that's a really, really good question, but no, it wouldn't. And the reason being is this template has two different sizes. There's a size up here and another size down here. So we do need to put those gates in. It sounds like a lot more work, but if we want the design, we need to pay the piper, right? So now I'm going to do one more thing. Let's go ahead and do the lines or the circles up here on top. And this time, I don't want my line to come across here and join. I want to keep this line inside joining. Let me show you how we do that, okay? Oh, okay. Di asked a question. Can you alternate where the pearl sits? So it would be sitting on the flat line? Yeah, yeah, you could do that. Definitely, Di. Definitely. Okay. Let's take a look now. This time we want, that was the 6.5. My tape has to be replaced. This time we want the 7.5. Okay. And Di, I think this is going to help answer your question, because what I think you're saying is the pearl is on this side, the straight line is on top, so the pearl seems to be hanging down from it. So would it be possible to make this pearl sit here and come up? And that's what I'm going to show you next, okay? And we're going to start on this little guy right here. And I'm going to pull that bobbin thread up. I'm afraid I'm going to have to kind of rush through this part a little bit. I have another class coming up. Okay, so here we go, stitch in place. Make that one stitch. Whoops, I didn't. Okay, this is where we're gonna start. We're gonna start on top and we're gonna come down. There we go. And come back to the top and stop with our needle down. Gonna get rid of the thread. Now I'm going to rotate my template. And rather than stitching from the bottom up, we're stitching from the top down. And that way our pearls now are sitting on that straight stitched line instead of hanging from the bottom of it. Around we're going to go. We're going to stop when we hit that reference line on the ruler. And we're going to go ahead and twist. Just like Chubby Checker, we're going to twist. Okay, around we go. I fell off of my tablet just a hair, but you know what? It definitely is okay. Nobody's going to notice it. I will because I knew it happened. All righty. And around we come. Guy, does this answer the question you had? I think this is what you were asking, but sometimes my brain doesn't work the same as others, so I may be interpreting your question incorrectly. Okay. Now what you see is things are starting to shrink up, so I've got to really start watching close where my foot is going and in conjunction with my fabric and my previous lines of stitching. There we go. I'm back on track here. And I am holding my fabric quite taut at this point. And this is going to be our last one. And we'll just come off here. Okay. So here we go. We can continue building this design out and it would look awesome built out row after row after row, I think. I'm going to get this out of the way here. Well, I think I'm going to anyway. There we go. And this is our strand of pearls this morning. I hope you like them. I think they're fun. There's so many different things we can do with them. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking one sitting and the other hanging. Yeah, absolutely. We can do that, Di. Thank you for bringing that up. I have too many different components on there to really show. Right here, they're hanging. So I could come back and put another one sitting on top of here. Absolutely no problem. Kathy says, Kathy's got a really good question. If you could afford only one of these sets, which would you recommend, the 1 inch or the 1/2 inch? That is such a difficult question. And it's only difficult because I would tend personally to stick with the 1/2 inch because I like small things. I like my squares to be rather small. I like my designs to be rather small and tight. If, however, you like things more open and airy, then I would go with the 1 inch. So it's really very personal decision and dependent on how you like to quilt, Kathy. Um, Boy, I wish I could just send everybody both sets because they're so much fun. But, just I would think about those 2 things, the size of the blocks that you're doing, of course, and whether you like to quilt heavily or quilt openly. And that should help you make up your mind on which one. Buy one now and then buy another one later. That's how I did it. That's how I built my sets. I didn't go out and buy them all at once. Oh, heavens. My husband would have divorced me. So, yeah, just one at a time and keep going. And thank you guys so much. Your words are always so kind, and I love your sentiments. I really do. They mean the world to me. You guys make my heart smile every time I do this. And I just wanna keep coming back and doing more. So, that is all of my lives for the week this week, and I look forward to next week, and I'm not even sure I've got written down yet what I'm doing next week. Let me check real quick here. I know that I am doing I do have it. Mm. I am doing on Monday simple starter set 5, edge to edge, and I am doing the on 6 o'clock Tuesday evening Central Time, I'm doing the artisan curve marquise. And on Wednesday, it's the same time, 8 a.m. Central, we're doing the Strand of Hearts. So that is next week's lineup. I certainly hope to see you there. And until we meet again, let's quilt.